Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salam alaikum. I hope you are keeping well. Welcome to another session of Spiritual Saturdays. The topic I have chosen for tonight is called positive spirituality or affirmative spirituality or taking care of yourself spirituality. Or spirituality is not something that always makes you not do things or avoid things, right? And I think a lot of the times, the reason why I'm talking about this topic is that a lot of the times when we want to become more spiritual, when someone is about to teach us about spirituality, the first thing that comes to our mind is that, now there are certain things I shouldn't do, Maybe I shouldn't spend too much time watching certain things. Maybe I should talk less. Maybe I should commit sins less. It's always has a kind of negative element to it, right? Sometimes. Like, I need to be careful. I need to not do this. I need to get rid of my shortcomings. I need to become a better person, right? A lot of the times when we speak about spirituality, it has a negative element to it. Not negative in the sense that it's bad, but negative in the sense that it always tries to let me get rid of my shortcomings. Let me get rid of anger. And nowadays there's really common for people to say, you need to kill your ego, annihilate yourself, get rid of yourself. And so I get all of that, by the way. I'm not trying to undermine any of these ideas. They're very beautiful if explained well. Otherwise, it can lead to misunderstanding. What I'm saying, usually when we speak about spirituality, it has that element of, you need to kill your ego, you need to get rid of your ego, you need to get rid of yourself, you need to do this. And you're like, okay, I'll get rid of my ego, I'll do that, okay? I'll get rid of my sins and shortcomings. Tonight, however, let's try a different approach that a lot of the times I see as Muslims, we are lacking this one. What is that? In the same way that we have a responsibility to get rid of our shortcomings, right? We also have a responsibility to take care of ourselves. And it's very important for us to see this concept, this practice of taking care of ourselves in the context of our spirituality. Why am I saying that? See, let's be honest here. Both our own experience and also studies show that people find it very difficult to take care of themselves, right? I was actually reading a study a few years ago that they saw people, they were given pills, like the doctor told them, okay, this is a pill you have to take regularly, otherwise you'll have a kidney issue or a heart issue, right? And so this was one group of people. They had to take a pill regularly, and if they hadn't taken it, it would have led to kidney failures, etc., etc. Another group of people, they were taking pills for their pets, right? Let's say they were having dogs at home. And then in the studies, they told them, see, you need to take care of this dog. So give them, for example, this medicine every week, whatever, something like that. They realized that the ones who were meant to take care of their pets, the animals, they were more careful to make sure this happens on time, right? Even when it's between us and our pets, it seems like we find it easier to take care of our pets. Now, if you haven't had a pet at home, well, the same is also with people. I mean, it might probably even stronger with people, right? A mother may find it easier to make sure her children take their medications, their food, everything they need on time. But when it comes to herself, she may not be as serious about it, right? Or a father, or even ourselves, right? We are not sometimes that serious in taking care of ourselves. Well, partially could be because it's not easy. We're not used to it. We want someone else to take care of us. Or parts of it also because sometimes we don't respect ourselves and don't love ourselves as much as we love other people, right? And we show this in a lot of different ways, right? If, for example, a friend of mine comes to me and says, Javad, I've done this, I'm dealing with this shortcoming. I feel terrible about myself. I haven't done anything with my life. If a friend tells this, I would be like, what are you on about? You haven't done anything with your life. You're amazing. You're one of the best friends I know. right? So when a friend comes and tells us they haven't made anything out of themselves in their life, we're quick to correct them. No, what are you on about? You're a great friend. I love you. See, we all love you. You're such a great friend for us. You've done this. You've got that quality, right? We immediately boost them up. For other people, easy. And we're not lying. Like a lot of times, we actually mean it. We see the value in our friends. But when it's our own case, when we're talking to ourselves, it's an inner thought. And for example, I tell myself, oh, Javad, you know what? You haven't really done anything with your life. I don't quickly jump to defend myself in the same way I was defending my friend, right? It seems that for us, it's easier to see the worth of our friends or family members, other people, and it's way easier to see their worth than to see our own worth. So when a thought comes and says, Javad, like, what are you doing? You're not worthy of love. You're not good enough. This is wrong with you. That's wrong with you. Do we love ourselves enough? Have we learned to love ourselves enough to say, no, what are you on about? I've done this, I've done that, I'm worthy of love, etc., etc. So we all have had experience of this. And a lot of the times, I feel like not only we don't see our own worth, not only we don't support each other, support ourselves, but we keep bringing ourselves down. That's something we would never do to a friend, right? We would never do to a friend what we do to ourselves. The other day I was listening to a book, and she said, the book was written by a therapist who's done therapy for maybe 40, 50 years. And as a therapist, she's seen people come to her office for maybe around 4 or 5 decades. Right? She's seen a lot of people, hundreds of people, thousands of people. She said, I have a technique that sometimes I use with them, is look at yourself in the mirror and see what comes to your mind. What are the things you usually say to yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror? And she was saying almost all the people, the majority, 90-something% of people, when they see themselves in a mirror, most of the time, they don't have anything positive to tell themselves. They don't have anything positive to say to themselves. They always try to bring themselves down, right? Like, oh, damn it, it's your bad hair day. Ooh, look at that look at that, for example, acne. Look at that spot. Look at this. Look at that, right? And she was saying, I know for a second that like, wow, I had this moment of like, wow, damn. Why do we do that to ourselves? Imagine for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever amount of years we are alive, every time we look in the mirror, we keep bringing ourselves down. We attack ourselves. You look ugly. You look this. Imagine if we'd done the same to a friend. Would he or she stay with us? If for 10 years, every time we saw our friend, like, ooh, damn, terrible hair, or ooh, what's that? What's up with your nose? Or ooh, why do you have so many spots? Or ooh, why are you short? Or ooh, why are you this? Not tall enough, not short enough, not strong enough, not slim enough, not skinny enough. So many ways that every time we look at ourselves in the mirror, we keep attacking ourselves, right? And for some reason, we weren't told that there is anything spiritually wrong with this. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. That I know it's our own body and etc. So we feel like, well, it's my body. I can do whatever I want, I can say whatever I want to it. But perhaps that's not the case. Perhaps we need to learn that being nice to ourselves, taking care of ourselves, appreciating ourselves at least as much as we appreciate a friend, at least as much as we appreciate a family member, is required of us. It's part of our spirituality, right? And I'm saying we need to start seeing the relationship we have with ourselves in the context of our relationship with God and our spiritual journey. Okay? So if so far we have been told all of the things that we shouldn't do, Oh, get rid of your ego. Oh, get rid of your jealousy. All of this. And we said, okay, these are spiritual things. Now I'm saying let's add another dimension to our spirituality. And that is this. You want to have spiritual growth? You want to have a better relationship with God? Be nicer to yourself. Now, this is not just something you're doing for your psychological well-being, which it has a lot of advantage there as well, but this is as part of your duty to God, part of your duty as a human being to take care of yourself, right? So if, for example, even 1 month of Ramadan, you want to write a goal, this month, usually what are the things we say? Usually this month, I want to read more Quran. Usually this month, I want to get rid of that sin I have. I want to work on my anger. I want to work on this. Well, I'm saying, why don't we 1 year say, you know what, those are all beautiful, but however, this year, I want to learn to attack myself less. I want to learn to take care of myself and see this as something that can get me closer to God. Why do I say this? For 2 reasons. First of all, this is in our spiritual tradition. The idea that you have to take care of yourself, because the soul that you are, the beautiful soul that you are, the body that is serving you for these few years that we are on this planet, these are all gifts, beautiful creation from God. And we need to take care of it, right? So at least let's treat ourselves the same way we treat our friend. I said, if a friend needs help, we're ready to help. If a friend feels down and they feel they haven't made anything out of themselves, we immediately call, no, you're amazing. Why do you feel that way? You've done this. You're an amazing friend. So let's do that for ourselves anytime. And of course, we need to learn this. I know there hasn't been that much emphasis on these things in our life, right? Our spirituality usually lacked this element. That as part of your relationship with God, take care of yourself, maybe, I don't know, maybe buy a gift for yourself, maybe learn to wake up at a time when it helps you, maybe go to take yourself to a park, take yourself for a walk, whatever it takes, learn basically to take care of yourself. And you may lack motivation. You're like, why should I do this? With a friend, it comes easily. With myself, it's difficult. I'm saying for the motivation part, let's use spirituality. Let's see this in the context of the duty you have towards God, which you do, I do. This is part of our spirituality. And so this is what I want to say. I want to call positive spirituality, affirmative spirituality, right? Last point. My presentation is over. Just one last point. In spirituality, Islamic spirituality, they used a few different metaphors, analogies, to make it easier for us to understand what is the process of spirituality like. You may have heard some of them. Like, for example, one metaphor is that your soul is like a mirror, right? This is one metaphor. Your soul is like a mirror that can reflect all the beauties of God. Right? All its beauty, wisdom, love, all the beautiful qualities of God. You're like a mirror that can reflect it. However, if you have, for example, a spiritual issue, it could be like the mirror is not clean. So by healing yourself, by getting rid of our shortcomings, we clean the mirror and the mirror reflects. Right? So this is one metaphor. There are so many metaphors. And you see, like with this metaphor, it seems like all you have to do with the mirror is to get rid of certain things. So that's why I don't really like this one. I prefer another metaphor. In another metaphor, which is again used in Islamic spirituality a lot, they say, see, think of yourself, and when I say yourself, I mean the whole package. Body, soul, what have you, everything, whatever makes you you, whatever. Think of all of that as a plant, as a flower. And then you're the gardener. Yes, there are certain things you need to remove. Maybe where you have planted this flower, there are certain weed growing, certain extra things we don't want. So let's get rid of that, right? So this is the negative part. Let's get rid of the things we don't want. But there's also a positive element to it. Give this flower water. allow it to have access to sun, right? These are not negative things. These are not remove the weed. No, this is give it water, give it food, give it access to sun, right? So in the same way with us, okay, I need to get rid of my jealousy. Okay, I need to get rid of my anger. Okay, I need to get rid of all of this. But I also need to give myself certain things, right? I need to give myself in the same way that the plant needs sun, water, etc. Let's learn what do I need and see that as part of our spirituality, right? What does my body need to be better, to feel better? Maybe I'm not giving it enough rest. Maybe the way I'm treating it with the time I'm waking and sleeping, maybe I'm not doing it the best thing to it, right? With everything, you know, with my hair even, am I taking care of my hair like I love myself? You know, am I, for example, in everything, do I try to, when I buy a cloth, do I try to buy something that I love? And then seeing all of these ways of taking care of our body, our soul, our mood, all of this, not just as some things we're doing, no, but as our duty towards God, as part of our spirituality, as things through which we can get closer to God. And I think if we look at our own communities, we see that unfortunately this is a lot of the times lacking, right? So you look at some parents, some grandparents, they've gotten a little bit older, and you're like, why don't you go out? Why don't you go for a travel? Why don't you go for a walk in the park? Why don't you do something to make yourself feel better, right? They're like, no, and I'm tired of this. Why don't they do that? Yes, if you, for example, tell them, read this prayer, do these 10 pages of A'mal, they do it quickly. Why? Because they think the 10 pages of A'mal is their religion, their duty to God, so they jump on it. But we also need to make this clear that taking care of yourself is also part of your religious duty. Getting up, going for a walk, you know, whatever you need. You have to figure that out, whatever you need. And then imagine if our parents, if the elders in our community, or even if ourselves felt it that in the same way that the 10 pages of A'mal, or for example this Salat, fasting is our religious duty, taking care of ourselves is also our spiritual duty. And this is what I call positive or affirmative spirituality.